Hey friends, Bill here. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you had a good weekend. It has a slow delay. Bill here. Hope you had a good weekend, a good Easter weekend, good Resurrection Day, whatever you like to call it. Obviously, a cornerstone of our faith and the Christian calendar. What's staggering to me is just, I don't know about where you live, where I live, businesses were closed on Friday. University of Tennessee Chattanooga they didn't have class on Friday. And it's amazing the influence of Easter weekend and how it provides an opportunity. As evangelists, we see these things, hopefully, how it provides an opportunity to evangelize. And, it still works in our world where people are reminded of Easter and what it means. And probably many people coming to services on Friday and Sunday and so forth. So I certainly pray and hope that many souls got saved and heard the gospel and heard the power of the resurrection. We can talk forever about it and what it means to us. But anyway, hope it was a good weekend. I'm always amazed. I'm always amazed at how things like that continue on. Even Christmas and stuff like that. Still, it resonates. People, you can think about what you want to. I guess it'd be like if we lived in a country and they had celebrated Ramadan across the board, we would know what it was. It's the way it is. You can avoid it. But anyway, hey, I want to talk about a couple things this morning, this afternoon. Shouldn't take long, but I really believe in our work is that we want to be personal in what we do. We want to maintain a personal interaction. You could say it like this. You could say, hey, we're high touch and high tech. Like a high tech would be amplification. High touch, you want to be approachable. You don't want to create a situation where people will not come up and talk to you. I think your demeanor on the inside, you as a person, so you get up there and preach, and you can, I certainly believe in passion and zeal. And I don't believe in overpowering an environment. I do believe in passion and zeal. And so you sit down and preach, you're sitting on a wall or somewhere, hanging out with a group you're preaching with. Hey, man, you want to be able to be approached. Somebody walk up and say, hey, I heard what you're saying. Let me ask you some questions. And I think this is really important, that we are not creating in our own environment a separation, so to speak, between us and the hearer. We see Jesus, people coming to him. We see Paul, people coming to him. We see people interacting. The great evangelist George Whitefield, people came to him. Not everybody, and not everybody liked him. I didn't say that. But people came to him, and he was approachable, and he interacted with them. I think this is really important because for the long haul, for the long term, if you're going to keep going back to a particular venue, like in Atlanta, I went to almost every home Falcons games and evangelized for 15 years. Kept going back, pretty much the same location, at least for the last, 5 or 10, it seemed like. I was in the same spot every week whenever they played. The Hawks games there at Phillips Arena, I think it's called State Farm Arena now, concerts. I mean, I was just out all the time, and the demeanor allowed people to approach me and also to, in essence, to not be afraid to know me, in a sense. We had a neighbor where we lived in Atlanta who was an police officer, undercover police officer. And he knew I was. And he would walk by once I knew who he was, I'd see him out and about. I didn't try to run up to him and shake his hand. Because if I saw him, he was working. But he knew who I was. No big deal, And so I think that's what we want to do. We want to keep the door open. And I want to encourage you to do that. Turn on the amp, but don't overpower people. Be approachable, man. Don't. That's one reason the Lord really, I believe, one reason I advocate these things. Could be wrong, but I believe the Lord taught me how to do it. He taught me how to be a missionary in the city in Atlanta, Georgia. So, like, if I was downtown preaching at a place, like over there by the CNN Center, I would go in there and get a drink inside the food court. I wanted people to see me. I wanted to be around. I'd go to Dunkin' Donuts and get a cup of coffee and got to know the ladies at the counter and so forth. I got to know tons of ticket scalpers and stuff. And one guy came up to me at the Super Bowl and said, Bill, I got saved. I've known this guy for 20 years. So, my job, the way I view my job, is to preach the word. That's where I focus all of my energies and my efforts. I don't have an unlimited amount of energy. And I believe my calling, if you will, is to preach to as many people as possible. I'm convinced of that. And so my orientation towards dealing with people is to manage my time and schedule and energy so I can get out there and preach it. So I spent so much time by myself with another buddy like Chap. I was preaching a lot when I was out, and so I had to basically reserve my energy. So you might be different, but in my case, when I say I went in there and got to know the people at the counter, and they saw me, you know, I knew they somehow had seen me or reaffirmed, and they knew what I was doing. The gospel, I represented the gospel. I was an ambassador for Christ, obviously. And so, in my own case, I think, and I don't know if this happens to you, but when I start witnessing, man, it gets. I don't get very far when I really start digging in with somebody. So I just sort of let it. I just let the word work. I really try to emphasize the gospel preaching, sowing, and watering the word. People, I guess we all have little things that we're spiritually better at than in others. And so for me, the preaching has always been the dominant thing, because the one-on-one witnessing, direct questions and stuff, it wasn't as fruitful as the preaching. So my mission was to get out there and be seen. So be approachable, even if you're evangelizing one-on-one. Be approachable. Don't be standoffish. Let people come see you. Do things. What I was going to say is that I'd preach in Woodruff Park for 4 years, 10 to 2 every day. I'd go in there and buy Coke in the market. I'd sit down on the wall and got to know people that way and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like a pastor shaking hands after a sermon. Some people shake the hand, some people ask questions, some people don't do it. Just being available, man. At some point, you just can't beat somebody over the head. And so be available. Have an attitude. Don't overpower people. Stick around once you get through preaching. I call it the limousine preaching. Guys, I'd see these guys a lot of times, these certain groups, and they would roll out, they get out of their car, they get on the corner, they'd have on sunglasses and banners and bullhorns, and it was a fireworks show, and they created a riot. They get back in the car and leave. I didn't want to talk to them. I didn't want to go up there and get yelled at myself. So I don't know what other people thought. So you can do what you want, but for us, if you're going to be in a place every time, a lot of times you're going to be on a college campus, you're going to be in a downtown park, you're going to be in an abortion facility, you're going to be at an arena or whatever. I want to encourage you to be approachable and be personable. It's not easy. This is where prayer and study comes into play. And so we'll get to that on another video. Be approachable, be personable, and deal with people that way. One more point on that, especially with the civil magistrate, the police that are out and about, you conduct yourself in a charitable way, they're going to conduct themselves in a charitable way to you. You reap what you sow. So the charity, being friendly, kind, without being phony, or going the other direction. I'm not going to be charitable. I'm not going to be kind. I've come with a message, heaven or hell, life or death. That's the other direction. Get in the middle. Be a human being that's out there preaching a message that you want people to hear and believe in, and go from there. To that end, don't wear sunglasses. That's like turning the amp real loud. You want to look people in the eye. And you want to track with people that are going by. You want to look them in the eye. That's what I'm doing. I'd see the fans. I'd see a guy looking at me, thinking about it. And I would say to him, "Hey, you, sir," because I was watching the movement of his eyes. And the other thing is, this relates to the amp thing. When you get the amp so loud and you create a distance and you distort the sound of your voice, making that shrill sound, or it's so loud people just can't talk to their neighbor, that's becoming unpersonable. It's like wearing sunglasses. I'm just come here to drown you out, and I don't care what you think about nothing. See, passion, zeal is great. Let them know why you came to. But like we talked about the Super Bowl, you don't have to. If you're preaching in a stadium, you don't have to let everybody 8 blocks away know you're preaching. I mean, that's just, you do what you want. I think when you do that, the people right in front of you, you're just ignoring them. You got people in a corner that's standing there, talk to them like they're there. Preach the word to them. Preach to them as if they are humans and can hear what you got to say. You got to understand. So be personal, point 1. Be approachable, point 2. Just hang around. You get through preaching, sit down, let people talk to you. Or you can go up and talk to people. What do you want to do? But just be approachable. Be around. Let them until the preaching's over. And when it's over, then I'm out of there. When the game is started, I'm gone. I'm not lingering around. But be approachable. Be personable. Keep the sunglasses off. Keep the volume down so people can see, hey, this guy He cares about me. He's come out with a message for me that he wants me to believe in. Hope this is helpful information. Talk to you soon.